Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions, whereby I get to share with you stories that I receive from other Africans, but on this platform I share with you their messages if they are currently based in Europe. So there's this message that I received from Anonymous. The message reads like this: "Hello my brother, can you please post for me on your page?" So what happened to me is that when I migrated from my home country in Africa, coming here to France, so even though during my university years I had studied a little bit of French, but from the country where I come from, most of the people, French is not your first language and also your second language, because English is the main second language from the country where I come from. So when I arrived in France, everything had just changed, because here not a lot of people will speak with you or respond to you when you speak with them in English. They prefer to use French, and also most of the notice boards here, they are written in French. Here and there you can find notice boards that are written in French and in English. So for me to settle down in France, it was quite challenging. This forced me to become more of an indoor person, even though back home in Africa I was very outspoken and also I was an outgoing woman. So when I came here, sometimes I'll speak with people, then they will respond, and some of the words I couldn't know whatever they were talking about. So this just forced me to be someone who was alone, and most of the times I'll be just indoors watching TV, going online. So this other day I just googled up French dating website, then I joined one of the websites. So I was using Google Translate so that I can read some of the requirements and whatever they needed for me to join that French dating website. Whilst I had on that website, after creating my profile, then I met this guy, because I saw that on his profile, his country of origin, it was the same country from where I come from. So I connected with him and we spoke. The moment that this guy spoke with me in our own native language, I was so excited, and immediately I fell in love with him, because ever since I had arrived in France, I had no one to speak with. I was so lonely. Even though back home I was speaking with some of my sisters, but there was a difference in the time zone, because what will happen is that when my sister and my family, when they will be waking up here in France, I'll be preparing to go to bed. So the communication between me and my family was quite challenging. We only communicated in cases of emergencies and stuff like that. So when this guy came around, I thanked God so much, because I told myself that this guy was truly heaven sent. So we dated online for a very long time, because this guy, whenever I would want to meet him, he kept on avoiding me. Sometimes he would tell me that he was going to come into the town where I was staying. Then I would wait for him, but he would never show up. Then he would give me a lousy explanation, like he couldn't make it on time. So me and this guy, we dated for something like 2 years, but we had never met each other face to face. We only did video calls and we only spoke on that dating website. So after 2 years, I was tired of this guy, because he kept on avoiding me. So I told him, and I gave him an ultimatum. I told him that if you don't want to come over to my place and meet me, or if you don't want me to fly over to your place and meet you, then we just have to end this thing, because I don't want you to waste my time. It's better that I know that I am single than this thing that we are doing, because at that time I thought that maybe this guy is married and he's someone who's just wasting my time. Since I had given this guy the ultimatum that if he doesn't book the flight ticket, I was going to just break up with him, then finally he told me that he had booked the ticket for me. So when the day arrived, I flew over into the town that he was staying. Then he came and he picked me up. So whilst we were driving from the airport, I was so excited, because when I was counting the years, I think it was now close to 3 years without having any sex, and I was so excited that tonight I'm going to enjoy myself with this guy. When we arrived at the place that he was telling me that this is his place, I told myself that this guy, there is no way that he cannot be married. This guy must be married, because he was staying in a very beautiful and a quiet neighborhood. So we entered the house. Inside, the interior was so beautiful, much beautiful than the outside. Then we went into the bedroom. What surprised me when we entered the bedroom, there was no bed, there was nothing. I asked him, why no bed? And he told me that he just enjoys sleeping on the floor. And I was like, it doesn't make sense, because in my head I was asking myself, the other rooms that he had showed me, all of those rooms, they had beds. He was telling me that some of them, they were guest rooms, because many times he received guests and stuff, they had beds. But in his own bedroom, there was no bed. I mean, there was nothing. It was just an empty room. The only thing that was in that room, it was a black drop sheet, like the ones that they use when they are painting the houses and they don't want to mess up the tiles. So he told me that that is where we were going to sleep that night. And then there was this pillow. That pillow was so dirty, you know, like those mechanics when they just go from fixing the car, then they touch something with the grease. That pillow was like that. There was grease all over that pillow. Then on the corner, there were clothes, and those clothes were so dirty and they were smelling. That room, when he opened that room, it was as if that room had been locked and there was no air circulation in that room, maybe for 2 years or something. I asked him, do you even open your windows? And he told me that, no, I don't have to open the windows. He was acting funny. And also on my side, I was asking myself that, what are you going to do if this guy tries to murder you? What if he is a psychopath? So this guy then told me that, let us go over into the kitchen and let us find something to cook. So whilst he was cooking, what he'll do is that when he was busy chopping up the onions, he will chop the onions. Then he would look straight into my eyes. Then he would chop some more, but he was doing it so aggressively. Then he would smile. So I kept on pretending as if I was fine. After we had finished eating, he told me that, let us go to bed, but there was no bed at all. I knew that even though he had said that this was his bedroom, but this was no bedroom at all. To me, it was just an empty room. So when we entered that bedroom, I heard him lock the door behind him and I got so scared. Then he stripped me naked and he made me to lie on the floor. That night it was so cold. Outside it was actually freezing cold. The only thing that was separating my naked body from the floor, it was this black sheet dropping. So this guy, he started to lick me all over and I started to shiver. Not because I was excited from this sex that we were about to have, but because I was feeling so much cold, and it was as if the cold was entering my skin straight into my bones. When I told this guy that, look at me, I am shaking because of this cold. Can you at least allow me to wear my jacket? Then you can do whatever that you want with my body. But he told me, no, just wait, you're going to be okay. You're going to feel very warm. Once we start to have sex, you are going to feel very hot. I am actually going to turn the fan on because you'll be feeling so much heat. Then he started to have sex with me. As he was having sex with me, he was telling me words like, oh, I love how much you are cold. You are so cold, like a dead body. Oh, I am feeling you. I like the way that you are feeling cold. Are you feeling cold, my baby? As he was about to come, suddenly he grabbed my throat. Then he looked into my eyes and his face changed. I saw that this guy was ready to kill me. Then I told myself, God, if this is the way that I'm supposed to die, let your will be done. Then he told me these words that I can never forget. He looked straight into my eyes and he screamed at me and he said, stop breathing right now. I said, stop breathing right now. So I stopped breathing because I was so scared. When he saw that I had stopped breathing, and he said, oh, I love you, you dead woman. You are the best dead woman that I have ever had. Please let me enjoy you. I like you dead woman. So my brother, this is exactly how this guy had sex with me for the rest of the night. He made me to pretend as if I was a dead person. This guy, it seems as if he enjoys this thing whereby a woman pretends that they are dead, then he starts to have sex with this imaginary dead woman. So I finally realized that that was the reason why this guy was keeping this empty room without a bed, without furniture, without nothing. He wanted it to be like that so that whenever he's having sex with a woman, whilst that woman is lying naked on the floor, then that woman's body will start to get cold. As he is touching you, he'll be telling you things like, I like the way that you are feeling cold. You are just cold, just like a dead person. That was the most shocking thing that has ever happened in my life. So since I had pretended to this guy that I was enjoying each and everything that he was doing to me, when the morning came, he told me that he trusted me enough that he was going to leave me with all the keys for the house. So he left. I actually walked him to his car in the morning, but when he left, I just took my bag and my cell phone and I ran with my life. I never contacted that guy anymore. And he himself, when he came back home, when he found out that I was not even there, he didn't even bother to check on me whether I had gone or if I was still around. Until today, ever since that day, that guy has never even bothered to speak with me again. My brother, this is what I went through right here in Europe. Never trust anyone that you will meet online, because some of these people, they will do you so much harm. They will damage you. Please just post this message for me. I don't wish to go public with my story. I don't wish to be known that this thing happened to me. I am fine as I am right now because I was able to move on with my life. But this is my own story. Strange things do happen, dear listeners. Right there was a message that was sent to me by Anonymous. Quite a strange story, quite a strange story. Let us meet again in the following episodes.